Hi everyone, and welcome to my second episode of Journey to Purpose. I'm here with Anna Willard today. Anna is a coach, she's a personal trainer, and I wanted to bring her out today because she's a little bit different to your standard personal trainer, and I want her to tell her story and just tell us all about her purpose and how she found it. So Anna, do you just want to tell us a little bit about yourself and how you found your purpose in your business right now?
Yeah, I grew up always doing sports, and I always was very active. And so I wanted to go into the field of physical therapy and thought that would be great, and got a degree in exercise science, and then realized that was not the avenue for me, and realized I could do personal training right away out of college.
Mm-hmm.
And ever since I started training, it was more of like a rediscovery of myself.
Mm-hmm.
I water ski competitively as well too. So with being active in a sport, it made me really realize that like a lot of things that are going into our physical aspect or our health is really an underlying of what's really going on underneath of like the spiritual aspect. And that's been like a huge thing for me that I'm like realizing even just like in this past month of learning how to train the spirits, the emotions, the mental aspect of like just approaching each like 6 pillars of health of not just like the physical and the nutrition and that type of thing. Because I think it's just a ripple effect of what's really going on underneath. So
yeah, that's really cool. So it was kind of like taking your inner purpose and showing that to the world. It's really cool. And were there any like roadblocks that you came above, or any fears that you had to conquer to start your own business and to show it with the world?
I feel like it's still like learning to conquer those every day, like every moment. Sometimes it's just like learning, like, am I really enough to do what I feel like I'm called to do and everything, and learning like my true potential and my true power of giving and serving the world, of like, oh yes, I can do this. And it's really more of an aspect of like what I believe in. Do I believe that I have the strength and the knowledge and the motivation and the inspiration to help a lot more people than just the people that I'm able to serve in the gym, and have a broader perspective. So it's more of like going down to the basics of what you believe in and who you believe yourself to be. And that's been like a huge eye opener for me, as like it's only been like a year and a half since I started doing my own thing. And it's been very challenging, but at the same time, I wouldn't have changed it because I've had tremendous growth so quickly of like, yes, I can level up. I can do this and that type of thing. So it's been amazing to see that. And then also see when I do that for myself, like my clients do that as well. Like, so out
it's
of like
an example, right?
Yes, exactly. Yeah. So one of the biggest things I've learned is like my self-service to me is not out of like a selfish way, but I'm able to provide a way and like almost guide the path through my actions for my clients to do the same.
Exactly. As you grow and as you up level, you're showing them that it's possible for them to do it as well.
Right. Yeah. So for me, like conquering some of the things that I maybe feel like be impossible, like for them, it may feel like it's impossible for them to lose that extra 10 pounds or to get through like this hard situation in life and still maintain their health and everything like that. But if I'm able to show, hey, this is what I've done, this is how I've done it, and help them through it as well, then it gives them that sense of hope. And I think going back to your very first question, I think that's my biggest purpose in life, is giving people hope. Like there's and that's what I love about the physical exercise with everything. You're never too old to gain that young body again. Like there's a nun, I forget her name, but there's a book called The Grace to Run, and she's a nun and she does triathlons. Like Ironman triathlon. Cool. Yeah. So, and I think she's like in her 70s or 80s. I mean, you wouldn't anticipate an age of an older woman to be able to do some of the things that she does. Yeah. So,
and it all starts in your mind, right?
Yeah.
So, not letting your body hold you back or anything. And cool. So I've got some other questions on here. How have you used like online and social media to help your business, and how do you see it in the future to help you grow and help more clients?
I think it's a way to kind of cultivate more of the community of what I preach and what I teach to my clients and everything, of like how to live, and kind of matching, because I do a lot of like Wisdom Wednesday and like Faith Fit Friday, of like how the same concepts of training like your physical body is the same concepts of like training other aspects of your body, or not just of the body, but of your health. Like the same ways that you are like to be consistent, you have to be consistent in the gym to get those results. You have to be consistent in your mind thoughts to keep telling yourself, I can do this. I can do this. It's not just one day I'll be like, oh yeah, I got it. You have to consistently tell yourself you got this.
That's the biggest battle, right?
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
So taking those like small approach of like showing how like the fundamental principles of training can do the same thing in other aspects of life. And so that's what I try to do. And I'm trying to teach my clients to see those opportunities as they're creating these good habits for their physical health and everything. So that's my goal for them, is like, okay, now we've got that set in place, and those habits, these habits can go into other aspects of your life, even into like relationship stuff too.
Yeah. And even business, right? Like it's all about being consistent and persistent. So always keep going forward no matter what happens. And that's a challenge, I think.
Yeah, it is. And the other thing I think is too, is like when you do it, like maybe you aren't, not beating yourself up and giving that shame game. Yeah. Just like, okay, I learned and now I'll grow and move forward instead of being stuck there.
Yeah. And then always looking in the past, right?
Exactly. Yeah. So a lot of times, like if someone got really good results and then gained that weight back or something like that, then they have an opportunity either to play that shame game or to move forward. And that's with anything that I found, even with my own life, with like doing my online business and stuff, of just like, okay, I didn't show up at this time. Do I stay in that moment, or do I persist and keep going forward knowing I can still serve, just like, okay, just forgive and move forward, you know?
And what sort of tips do you give to your clients to help them with being consistent and moving forward? Because I know that lots of people know it, but it's hard to keep on top of. Do you recommend that they read like daily affirmations, or listen to some sort of audio or books or anything that to keep them on their game and moving forward? Hello.
Oh.
I don't know if we're still recording or what. Maybe we are.
I think it is. It looks like it's recording at the top corner. I don't know what happened.
I know, it just shut down. I was like, no.
I know. Well, this just shows that we're being consistent, right?
Yeah.
Persistent.
So I suppose we can just keep going. And the last thing I asked you was, what sort of advice do you give to your clients on being persistent and consistent?
Yeah. So a lot of times I try to ask them of like, why are they doing this? Like, what is the deep root cause of why they want to be physically healthy again? And so sometimes I work with a lot of moms, and a lot of it is like to be healthy and to show example for their daughter, or to be healthy for their husband, And so when you have like a purpose or a mission or a goal that's bigger than yourself, and you have to show up for someone else, that's really like the whole purpose of it. And that's what keeps them going, right? When it's just like, when you think of like certain goals of like, oh, I want to get into a certain size or anything like that. Yeah, that's good. But like, what's the reason behind it? Is it just so you can feel good about yourself, or is it serving a bigger cause than yourself? Yeah. And so when you're able to find like those deeper reasons for, when I'm able to find those for my clients, then it sticks, because it's when they see their daughter or something like that. One of the women that I've been currently working with, she has a little girl. And every time I see them, she's like always wanting to come and do the classes with us or anything like that. So it's super inspiring just to see of just like even the kids wanting to be participant in it as well. So
that's very cool. A lot of the stuff I talk about is when you want to be an online entrepreneur, it's not so much about setting that money goal. So you should have a money goal, but what does that money enable you to do? What does it mean to you? And what sort of life will it enable you to have?
Right.
You use that why to drive you forward and to be consistent. So taking away those numbers that don't really mean anything and bringing some meaning into it, and what really a lot to you.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And that's one of the things I've even learned for myself of like, okay, I'm teaching my clients this. Okay, I need to do the same for myself with this business. So like, it's like you said, it's not necessarily about the money. It's like, how am I serving? How am I showing up for them? And so when I put them at the forefront of my mind of like, okay, it's not for myself and making sure like I make ends meet or anything like that. It's more like, how am I serving them?
Yeah. I really like that. And also, like you said, that when you are focusing on helping them, you have to grow yourself all the time. So I really like that aspect too. I feel like I should be up leveling all the time and always learning so I can give back to people.
Right.
It's another good thing about being in business with yourself is you develop yourself as you help other people develop as well. Yeah.
It's been a crazy journey of learning things about myself that I didn't even realize I was holding myself back in, of just like, oh, if I'm doing that, what am I showing by example to my clients, So it's been a good challenge for myself.
That's true. And it brings me back to the point that you don't always have to be super ready to go into business. Like you will grow along the way.
Right.
Some people think they need to be super skilled. They need to be super prepared and their best self before they can go into anything new, but really you will grow and you will learn along the way, and the universe will pave the way for you. So just take that plunge and work hard.
I love it.
So what advice would you give for people that are yet to find their purpose? Because I think that sometimes the hardest part is just knowing what your purpose is and what you want your life to be.
No, and that's a really good question. I think it's just going back down to like things that you enjoy, like almost like revisiting your childhood of like, what did you imagine growing up to be? Like, what did you play when you were a little kid? Did you play being a doctor? Did you play being a teacher? Did you play being a firefighter? And then it doesn't necessarily, you didn't need to be those things, but understanding, like diving into the why. Why did you want to be those things as a little kid? Like I played being a teacher all the time when I was a little girl. I'm not necessarily a teacher, but I am teaching. Like I don't have like a teacher's title, but I am teaching. So understanding like the reasons why you want it to be those things growing up, that I think will really help people understand of like what they can or how they can live a life with purpose. I think the other thing is just discovering their gifts and their talents and really seeing like if they're really good at motivating or if they're really good. Like I have a sister who is super creative with like scarves and everything like that. And just like she has like the patience to sit down and like knit. I don't.
Like that is a talent, patience, right?
Exactly. So just seeing the things that you really enjoy and like really almost being quiet with yourself, I think is the biggest thing. And just like taking a pen and paper and really just writing out things that you love doing. And
being
then
honest,
and just you're really being honest with yourself. Because there was a time when I was doing I've been injured through a lot with water skiing, and there was a time where I was out of work and I returned to work and I was almost ready to change careers because I was so burnt out from training and everything, and like the long hours that training does bring with the career. And I was just like, I'm ready to be done. But then like when I took that step back and just kind of realized of like, why do I really love what I do? And it brought me back to it. So you may be even like, for some people, they're already doing the job that they love, but they're not doing it from a place of love, of just like really like, how are they able to show up for work and be creative and bring their best self to work? So it really is like coming back down to like, how well do we know ourselves and our gifts and our talents of how we can bring it to whatever you do. So I think that's the biggest thing of like how you show up and how you live with purpose and with passion. So
no, I love that. And I really like how you said to go back to your childhood, because as you grow up, you kind of mold into this person you think society wants, and you do what you think you should do, you get that degree, but when you grow up and you think, do I really want this? And going back to your childhood is going back to, you know, the things that you really enjoy. So I really like that point.
Yeah. Well, and like if I started writing an ebook on like how to train your hopes, dreams to believe. Mm-hmm. And one of the things I say in there, like, if you have a hard time, like going back, like in the memory aspect of your childhood, just be around children again, to see if like, just go out and play with like kids, like, or, I mean, most people have friends now that have kids or something like that. I mean, the kids are always around, right? So if you spend time with kids and like see the world from their perspective, it helps you kind of like start dreaming again and seeing your gifts and remembering what you were like as a kid and what you loved doing as a kid. So if you feel like stuck and not like mentally can go back with the memories, just be around kids. And
that's very cool. I never really thought about it like that, but it's so true, right? When you're around these kids, you get this energy, you kind of feed off their energy. Yeah,
exactly.
Oh, very cool. And for my last question, what advice would you give to people that have a unique gift like you, or have a passion but they're not quite sure how to put it out into the world, or they don't have the confidence to go forward with it?
I would just say do it. Like, that's the biggest thing. Like, and even for myself, I'm always telling myself that aspect of just like, you won't build that confidence until you do it.
Yeah.
And you don't necessarily need the confidence at that moment. It may be scary, but that's the only way you're going to build the confidence. Similar to like strength training. Like, you may not be able to lift a certain amount of weight, but you're never going to do it or gain that strength until you lift that weight. Same with confidence. Like you won't build more confidence until you continue to do and do and do and do. Yeah. So just take it one step at a time. I think a lot of times what trumps us with confidence is we see the big picture of what we want to do in life and where we want to be, but we forget like these little steps that kind of build ourselves to get there. Versus, oh my gosh, how am I supposed to be that person when I'm here? Yeah, it's okay. It's just those baby steps. Yeah. And so just reminding yourself, like, okay, one step, boom, that build that level of confidence. Okay, I can do this then. And this, you know, and it builds off of each other. So not taking like the big leap of like whatever it may be, but even like for myself, like when I left the club and started doing my own thing, I was like, okay, I have a certain amount of clients online. I need these amount of people in person, and then I'll slowly build my online that way. And just like, it builds momentum. Like, you can't just do it all at once and show up.
And it's not going to happen overnight, right?
Exactly. Yeah. And I think that's a lot of times what people think of, like, okay, if I have confidence, this should show up. No, it's just those baby steps.
Yeah. And it comes back to being consistent, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So, all about that confidence, pushing forward, and consistency.
Yep, exactly.
Awesome. Yeah. Well, did you have anything else you wanted to say? And also, how can people reach you if they wanted to get in contact with you? So I'm on Facebook. Obviously, it's just my coach's page is Facebook Coach Anna Willard. I do a lot of like messaging and everything like that on Facebook. So my personal profile is just Anna Willard. So they can just message me there. If they're into email, it's coachwillard10@gmail.com. Biggest thing I would say for people is wherever they may be at right now, that's exactly where they need to be. Even though it may not feel like it's where they're supposed to be, it's exactly where they're supposed to be in that present moment, is teaching them something that's going to help them in the future of where they want to be. So trusting in the moment of knowing that you are here to be at this moment, talking to certain people and being open to listen to what they may have to say. It could be just that little nugget that you need of truth to get you to that next step. Yeah. And so just not shaming yourself of like, I shouldn't be here. I need to be here in this stage of my life. I know I do that a lot with myself being single, like, oh my gosh, all my friends are like married. It's like, I'm like, no, I'm exactly where I need to be. I'm here to serve a different way than what they're doing, you know, and just trusting them like, okay, I'm here. So I think that's the biggest thing for people, is just trusting they're here at that present moment for a reason. I love that. And it takes it away from being frustrated to being positive and hopeful for the future.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, very cool. Well, thank you so much for coming
Oh,
on
thank
board and
you.
talking to me.
Yes.
Yeah, it was really good to talk to you, and I think we have a lot of similar values and outlooks on life.
Same. Yes.
Yeah, so really good to talk to you, and thank you again.
Yeah, thank you.
Cool. All right, we'll talk soon.
All right, sounds good. Thank you,
Thanks,
Shannon.
Anna. Bye.
Bye.